our superintendent, Ms. Chavez, and myself. So we'll go on with the agenda. We have the Pledge of Allegiance by Taylor Elementary students, American flag by Abigail Quintanilla, and Texas flag by Morgan Herrera. Please rise.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Honor the
Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible.
We have invocation by Mr. Rodriguez.
Please bow our heads. Dear Lord, as we are gathered here this evening, we ask for your guidance so that our students and staff benefit from our decisions. May your Spirit be a beacon to show us the path that we need, not necessarily what we want. Our hope is in you for our students, our staff, and our parents, that we may achieve together what we cannot individually. Help us build a community of learning and achievement, not for ourselves, but for your glory. In the name of your Son, Jesus Christ, we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you so much, parents and students from Taylor Elementary. Students, Abigail Quintanilla, Morgan Herrera, and of course, thank you so much, Mr. Rodriguez. Moving along on the agenda, we have open forum this month. Okay, let's move on with superintendent's report. A, student recognition, A1. So to be a little bit more efficient, colleagues, we just go A through C. That's okay?
Yes.
Mr. Salena, we're okay with that?
Yes, sir, as long as it's on the record.
Okay, thank you, sir. Go ahead,
I'm
Ms.
going to
Chavez.
ask Ms. Martinez, Public Relations Officer, to please come up.
Yes, thank you, Superintendent Chavez. Good evening to the Board of Trustees, principals, staff, parents, and community members present here tonight. We begin tonight's student recognitions with some outstanding reader leaders. These students from Harrell Middle School have met some inspiring accelerated reader goals. Although I'm sure they have surpassed these numbers, at the time of their invitation, these are the amount of words they had read. Alondo Alvarado reached a bachelor's reading level with 511,307 words read. Logan Silva reached bachelor's reading level with 612,250 words read. And Catherine Gano reached doctorate reading level with 1,240,610 words read. Congratulations to these students for exemplifying the power of reading. We'd like to present them now.
And if we can come up.
Jess.
Well, we did have something to read, so if you guys can just be patient, because I know you're already ready. So, good evening, Ms. Chavez, Superintendent of Schools, Mr. Oscar Hernandez, Board President, school trustees, MISD staff, and Mercedes ISD community. Sergeant William G. Harrell Middle School would like to recognize our Bengal readers. As we started a new year, we also started with new ideas. Sergeant Harrell Library promotes the Accelerated Reader Program, also known as AR. AR was created in 1984 and marketed to schools in 1986. In 1992, a series of studies identified best practices related to AR. I began working with the district shortly after, so I can proudly say that Mercedes ISD was on the cutting edge with new and innovative programs as AR was in place. Reading is crucial for the success of all students. It's challenging to motivate middle school students to read when there are so many other new and exciting things to be part at Sergeant Harrell Middle School. Therefore, our AR initiative took a new direction. Reading 1 million words takes time and determination to achieve, so we wanted to reward students who are working towards this goal. In addition, it is evident that we need to prepare our students for college and careers. Middle school is where we can plant the seeds of attending college or technical schools. It's never too early for students to start dreaming of their own future. We incorporated a scale of words to be read that correlate with post-secondary education degrees. The scale is as follows. An associate's level requires 250,000 words to be read, followed by a bachelor's level that requires 500,000 words to be read. A master's level requires 750,000 words to be read, and a doctorate level requires 1 million words to be read. So without further ado, I present to you the following students: Alondra Alvarado, earning a bachelor's level; Logan Silva, earning a bachelor's level; and Catherine Cano, earning the doctorate level. All of these goals were reached within the first 30 days of school. Congratulations for a job well done. You are the best. Everything go this way? Check everybody's on.
Next, we would like to welcome Mercedes High School Principal, Mr. David Aguirre, to the floor to share a few words about these exemplary students of the month.
My good evening, board and Ms. Chavez, Superintendent of Schools. On behalf of Mercedes High School staff and administration, congratulations for being selected as Mercedes High School Student of the Month for September. We have Evelyn Sanchez and we have also Zachary Sanchez. If they can please come up here. And Evelyn, her teacher wrote, Evelyn is always full of enthusiasm and positivity. When she is in class, she finishes her work on time, and excels on every assignment. When working in a group, she leads very well and is a great motivator. It is a pleasure to have her as a student, and that's Ms. De Leon, and she's a proud daughter of Mr. Eric and Ms. Rachel Sanchez. So our senior is Ms. Evelyn Sanchez, and she got September Student of the Month. Evelyn. Along with Evelyn, we have Mr. Zachary Sanchez. Mr. Zachary Sanchez, his teacher wrote, our student of the month, Zachary Sanchez, truly stands out as a remarkable example in my class. He is consistently on task, and his active participation in class discussions not only benefits his own understanding, but also creates a more engaging and dynamic learning atmosphere for all this class. Zachary's grades are consistently at the top, reflecting his unwavering commitment to excellence and his continuous effort to excel academically. It truly embodies the qualities of a dedicated, enthusiastic learner. This is Mr. Guerra that wrote that, and he is a proud son of Mr. Jose and Ms. Yvette Sanchez. Congratulations, Mr. Zachary Sanchez. And those are our students for the month of September. That's fine.
Tonight, we will also be recognizing several students who participate in the Career and Technical Education Ag Mechanics program. Along with representing Mercedes ISD at different contests across the state, these students are also seeking professional certifications in welding through dual enrollment. They are accomplishing all this while still being dedicated to classes, extracurricular activities, and their family commitments. They even help construct our traditional M for homecoming. We wish them the best of luck this year with their new projects, and we have a video prepared to let you hear about their experiences in their own words.
Ever since I got here, we hit the ground running. I mean, and slowly but surely, you know, we're at where we're at now. They'll do their homework. They'll get online and sir, can we add this? Can we add this? They could, you know, if it's doable, we'll do it. And the majority of the time we can. These kids go off on their own, and I'm just here to facilitate. They're great kids.
Yeah. We'll always just like sit down, talk about it. It takes like a while to like come up with ideas because we want to be different. So we try like putting like different ideas together, and then once we get one, we just go with it.
We gotta work a lot with your team. You gotta communicate, let them know what's going on. Like
These kids are here night and day. That right there comes into play.
We've been doing pretty good ever since we got here, and we've been picking up the program, and the more we go up, the better we do, honestly.
For being as far south as we are, you know, we are one of the big ones. We are pretty, you know, competitive with everybody else.
I know there's times where we've gotten to like the second, third round where we've had to really show off, and you're running against people that also have good trailers, that have good projects. You just gotta work. You're gonna work off for it. So.
Favorite project I would say was my freshman year. We built a 16-foot cattle trailer. I was on the team with Jesus and my friend Jose, and we went upstate, and we were one of the smallest trailers there, but we were putting up a good fight. There was some 36-foot cattle trailers, and well, we beat them at some of the shows.
Last year I started off making a 20-foot gooseneck flatbed with my partner Barrett. So we made that, and we went to our first show, which was in Fort Worth, the San Antonio Stock Show, and Houston. We placed San Angelo third place. Here at Stock Show we placed third, and in Houston we actually placed sixth, which is pretty good for us.
It's a good feeling that you're representing your school up there, and knowing that you're the only school that goes up there in the valley. You're carrying the valley up there, so it's all in our hands to go show what we got.
Being able to place in Houston 6, it's very good, because I'm just saying it's not easy to go up there, and you're going against other people on bigger projects, so it's very hard. And it's not just one person, it's everybody on that team that shows up and shows out to show that trailer.
Last year was probably our best year. We were a hair away from winning Fort Worth, a hair away from winning Houston. I mean, we brought back an immense amount of prizes, and all these prizes go back to the kids.
The only one I had built so far was the 14-foot enclosed welding trailer. It did really good in the shows, especially here in Mercedes, where we hit the grand champion, which is my first time.
We go to Mercedes. This is I think we won Grand and Reserve three years in a row. The way I run this class is a career setting. I mean, if you don't do the work, you don't get paid, you know, or you don't get the grade, you know, that's basically how I run it. I mean, they can get up to 6 certifications in just, you know, in this setting. Had some graduate here in May, which is exciting because it's been a long time coming. We're one of the few districts that does STC welding. We go through this program through STC. All they have to do is do a semester, and they're done with their combination in that following semester after they graduate.
I'm doing it right now in high school. I don't have to go right out of high school, go into the structural and all that. So I'm able to do it here, and then next semester I'll be able to do my combo.
I think this year I'm gonna have kids graduating in December. I'm gonna have some in May. So it's kind of trickling in, and it's all due to the kids.
It's better doing when you're in high school, like, so when you leave high school, I mean, you'll be able to work already.
All these kids put in the work. I mean, and these kids, you know, as soon as they get out, they work. They're there for a semester, then they're off to work. So everything, it kind of trickles down.
I'd like to introduce Oscar Rodriguez, instructor, and the students.
Congratulations. Congratulations, good job. Congratulations. Congratulations. Sir, congratulations.
Thank you so much, I appreciate it.
Mr. Hernandez, if I can just say a couple of words
Absolutely, ma'am. Go ahead.
before they leave. Mr. Rodriguez, ask him just to wait just 1 second. Sir, I just want to say congratulations to you, to your students. Can you hear me? To you and your students. I think the pride that I see in their, you know, in their faces and how they express themselves, it's really impressive. I've always enjoyed those programs. The fact that you are incorporating the school, you know, school with the business world and what their career goals, as far as career goals, that's very impressive. We're not just in the now, we are preparing them for a future, for a career, for further education, hopefully. But, you know, that's, you know, it's discipline, leadership. You know, I really appreciate what you do. Thank you so much.
Thank you, and thank you for all support. I mean, it doesn't go without saying with you guys' support. And I mean, these kids, they work on their own.
Yeah.
And when I say I sit down, I have a little corner where I sit down, and that's all I do all night. And we're there till 9, 10 o'clock. And of course, we got a schedule to keep up with. Our first show's in January, and you know, these kids are hustling. But then they see when we go out there, and I'm gonna go real quick. When I first started, we're so intimidated of being up north. Like the kids they would not talk. We're so afraid. And now that we go there, and there's a crowd of people that come say hi to these guys. I mean, we're kind of changing the demographic, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I mean, we're trying. But thank you for your support.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Earlier in October, we celebrated National Custodian Day. We wanted to recognize our incredible custodial staff, the unsung heroes who work tirelessly behind the scenes, ensuring that our Mercedes ISD facilities and workspaces are clean and welcoming. Your dedication and positivity make a difference to everyone here at Mercedes ISD. I'd like to welcome Director of Maintenance and Facilities, Rolando Herrera, to say a few words.
Good evening, Superintendent Ms. Chavez, Board President, Mr. Hernandez, trustees, community, and staff. October 2nd marked the National Custodian Appreciation Day. And I want to thank the campuses and the principals and directors for making our custodians feel appreciated at the campus. Every campus and department did something for the custodians, in appreciation for everything they do. They're the first ones there at the campus, and they're the last ones to leave sometimes. You know, some of our staff does stay late. But nonetheless, they play an important role. They make sure that our facilities are clean, healthy, and because of them, we're able to operate. So, le quiero dar las gracias a este momento a los custodians, ¿verdad?, por todo el trabajo que hacen. Aquí están con nosotros unos cuantos custodians que pudieron venir. Los invitamos. Octubre 2nd fue a National Appreciation for Custodians. So I want to thank all of you for everything that you do. With us today, con nosotros hoy, voy a mencionar los nombres, so please rise as we mention your names. Si cuando les mencionamos el nombre, por favor, pónganse de pie. Con nosotros ahora está Mr. Juan Rojas, which is our custodian foreman. Mr. Rojas. Mr. Juan Garcia. Hector Hernández. Danny Martínez. Por favor, aquí es. Genaro Martínez. Les Alanis. Sara Rodríguez. Josie López. Mari Ramírez, Gloria, Mr. Aurelio Calengo, Mari Flores, Nati Martínez, Dora, Hector Fonseca, Rondate, Olimpia. A big round of applause from everybody for our custodians, please.
I've never said this publicly and at a board meeting, but it's fitting and it's right to do it. I think each and every one of us, if you like, you could say a comment. And le voy a hablar en español, porque para mí viene directo del corazón, porque era profe de matemáticas en el salón de MISD. Y los días eran medio difícil. A mí, cualquier día puede ser difícil para todos, ¿verdad? Para no mortificar a mi señora, mi hija, mi hijo, ¿a quién voy a ir a hablar? Vas a tener un amigo que me puede escuchar. Y eran los custodians. 32 años tenía un amigo, una amiga, que platicamos. Vamos a estar en este mesa directiva unos 4, 8 años, pero nunca se va a olvidar los años que yo tenía con los custodians. From the bottom of my heart, muchas gracias for what you do. And el trabajo que haces para nosotros y los estudiantes, because ese trabajo es difícil también. Pero en parte de mi familia, los de León y los de Hernández, estoy bien agradecido. Gracias. Anyone would like to add?
Well said, Mr. Hernandez. I couldn't have said it better. As a former administrator that has worked with many of these individuals that I know intimately, Mr. Rojas, Mr. Cadengo, Mr. Martinez, Gloria, Elizabeth, Rodríguez, many of you, muchas gracias por todo lo que hacen. Los miramos, como dice Mr. Hernández, Mr. Herrera, comienza el día con ustedes y se termina con ustedes. Okay, el trabajo de ustedes, si no se hace, no hay escuela, simplemente. Muchas gracias por todo, eso sin decir. Muchas gracias.
A mí también me gustaría darle las gracias, como dice el señor Rodríguez. Yo también trabajé directamente con muchos de ustedes y sé el trabajo que es difícil. Sé que están ahí bien tempranito, se van bien tarde en la noche. Sin su servicio, el distrito no podría operar de día a día como lo hacemos. Su trabajo no se va sin ser notable todo lo que ponen de su parte para que puedan correr los diarios del trabajo de la escuela. Muchas gracias.
Yo también les agradezco por todo su trabajo. Como dice Mrs. Vallejo, el trabajo, están ahí muy temprano y están ahí muy tarde. El trabajo es difícil, es mucho trabajo y son muy poquitos de ustedes. Y estoy tan agradecida por todo su trabajo. Muchos de ustedes han estado con el distrito por muchos años y es como si ya somos familia. Ustedes miran a los niños y saben, saben que nosotros no tuviéramos aquí también. So, les agradezco por venir hoy esta tarde.
Thank you very much.
October is also National Principals Month, and we wanted our campus leaders and the community to hear a little message from student representatives in this video presentation.
Month, and as a tribute to the impact principals have in the lives of our students, we asked all grade levels a few questions about this special group of leaders. Here's what they had to say.
Of the principal is to help the students, but also to make sure all the students get
good education and the teachers are good for the kids.
She takes care of all the students. Whenever stuff happens, she tells us to report it. So if anything happens in the buses, the lunch area.
I like to tell the assistant principal and the teachers how to work and what to do.
You make sure that the students are doing what they're supposed to and you keep an eye on them. To make sure the students are doing well, check up on teachers, make sure staff is doing what they're supposed to do. To take care of the students, to teach them how to be respectful.
A role of principal is him to be nice, gifted, and to him to pay attention to us.
They need to be understanding with their students. I think they need to be helpful. They have to be patient.
Just to make sure that the school is real well organized and make sure all the students are doing the right thing, doing the work, passing.
She has to attend and take care of everything. She has to go to the classes. She's just there to be disciplined and fun at the same time. He inspires us to be better and to be here every day.
To make sure everybody's in the school, in the campus, to be comfortable and to have a good learning experience, and with
They're understanding, helpful to students who need help or in need of something like housing or transportation or just help in general.
Basically being a leader, keeping things in order, being in charge of activities.
Role of a principal is mainly to keep a moderation of not just the teachers but the whole sort of community as a school, make sure we're all getting our jobs done, making sure we're working efficiently towards our goals,
Principal's kind of like the father figure of the campus to me, and he's supposed to maintain order, be in the best interest for the students, is always to be first in his mind, and just to keep everything running well so students have a good and fun time here in high school.
I'd say she's nice, she's not mean, and that she's a great principal. But I like her whenever she says tiger clap because it sounds very confident and very loud, so I like it a lot. She's kind and she helps a lot of people.
She's really nice and she understands. She doesn't really raise her voice. She's always polite and she's never mean.
We have pep rallies kind of every Friday when the football season starts, and he's always there and he's always making the day more awesome and more spiritful.
Oh, Ms. Ramirez, she's very sweet, she's kind, and she's very helpful. One of our favorite memories with Mr. Mejia, since this is his first year, he did help us lead student council, and he's been a very fun sponsor.
I like that he ensures that our students are us really striving for our education and putting that first in our day-to-day processes.
She'll help you if you need help. Somebody you can put your trust into, and don't be afraid to talk to her about anything.
Say thank you, Ms. Hernandez. Sorry,
Happy Principal's Month, Mr. Aguirre. Thank you for all you do. It's much appreciated.
Happy Principals Month, Mr. Aguirre.
Happy Principal's Month, Mr. Mejia.
Thank you for all you do too.
Happy Principals Month, Ms. Emmerich.
We appreciate everything you do here.
Thank you for everything you do, Dr. T. We love you in this district.
Happy Principals Month.
Happy Principals Month, Mrs. Ramirez.
Thank you for all you do, Mr. Ramirez.
Thank you for all you do, Miss Samantha.
Thank you for all you do.
Happy Principal's Month, Miss Chacon. Happy Principal Month, Miss Chacon.
Thank you for all you do, Miss Bustamante.
Happy Principal Month. Thank you, Miss Rivera. Thank you for all you do, Miss Rivera.
5.
Oh, cute.
October is National Principal.
We'd like to bring up the principals right now for recognition. And now, to conclude the presentation, we would like to welcome our Director of Bands, Mr. Guy McKenney, to the floor as he recognizes and tells us a little bit more about the volunteers who helped make the 7th Annual Queen City Marching Festival a success.
Good evening, Mr. Hernandez, President, Ms. Chavez, Superintendent, board members, and community members. I wanted to just take a few moments to share news about our 7th Annual Queen City Marching Festival that we hosted here in Mercedes on October the 7th. Before I return to tonight's marching band rehearsal in preparation for area in a couple weeks. We had 17 bands competing in our prelims, the Mercedes Mighty Tiger Band performing an exhibition, and 8 of those bands competing for the grand champion in the finals. The Santa Rosa Band also performed in the finals as an exhibition group. The Roma Gladiator Band was chosen as our grand champion band this year. I would like to thank the following for their assistance with the event. It takes a great team. Mr. Rolando Herrera and the maintenance department, including the custodians who did a great job. Mr. Roland Handy for helping us with our judging technology. Mr. David Gonzalez for helping make sure electronics and the scoreboard were running smoothly. Mr. Roger Adame for assistance with securing the venue. The team at Safe Schools for helping us with security. Alex Bocanegra, our CRO, for helping us with the security as well. The Mercedes Lions Club for welcoming spectators into the stadium. The Mercedes Chamber of Commerce and the Mercedes Wendy's for supplying the waters that all the bands use to stay hydrated. Mercedes Chick-fil-A for supplying lunch for all of our workers. Smoking Oat for supplying dinner for the judges. Mercedes Band Boosters for all their coordination and concessions. The administration for all of your support in this endeavor. The following were also donors to the Band Boosters this year: Charlie Clark Nissan, Howell Insurance, Tractor Supply, Sonic, Magic Valley Co-op, Greater State Bank, State Farm, Rick Arizmendi, Mid-Valley Pharmacy, Nat Medical, and RGV Livestock Show. Our Mercedes Band students and NHS volunteers from both high school campuses who helped pass out waters and guide the bands to the different stations, and to the Tiger Band directors and some former band students who assisted with all the logistics during the day to make it a smooth operation. We had many compliments from the visiting bands, some of which were new to Tiger Stadium this year. Our judges were very complimentary as to the venue and student helpers. We had a great turnout and great weather. Out of all the contests for the past 2 weeks, we had the second most number of bands participating at our contests. So again, thank you for all of your support.
I do want to make a comment, Mr. Hernandez. Mr. McKinney, I was there for the finals, and several people came up to me, and some that I knew, others I didn't know, very complimentary of the way the festival was run. So kudos to everyone, and thank you for everyone that within the district that helped out, because it makes a difference when everybody's working together. And those people don't contribute unless they feel confident that things are going to be run well, and they were. So congratulations to you and your staff, and continue on in the future with this festival. It was great.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. McKinney.
Okay, moving along with the Superintendent's Report C, Enrollment and Attendance Report. Ms. Chavez.
I'm going to ask Mr. Handy to give us that report, please.
Good evening, everyone. Ms. Chavez, Mr. Hernandez, board, community, and staff. The purpose of today's presentation is to share ADA and enrollment information with our board and our community. Attendance and enrollment are cornerstones of our district. In order for our students to grow academically, they need to come to school every day. It's also important to note that our district is able to continue, that positive attendance and enrollment also increase funding, which ensures that our district is able to continue providing effective learning opportunities. So we'll take a look at our ADA and enrollment figures. We'll be contrasting the first 7 weeks of school for current year along with past year. So we'll get started. The first slide is our district summary. On the top left, you'll see current enrollment at 4,388 students, ADA 92.31%. Prior year enrollment 4,250, ADA 90.84%. And at the bottom, we'll see the contrast. We did have an increase of enrollment of 138 students and an increase in ADA of 1.47%. So that's definitely a positive note. We'll start our campuses with MEL, Mercedes Early Literacy. Current year enrollment, 199 students, ADA 88.86%. Prior year enrollment, 151 students, ADA of 81.86%. We can see that the enrollment has grown by 48 students and ADA has increased by 7%. Taylor Elementary, current year enrollment, 422 students, ADA 94%. Prior year enrollment, 396 students, ADA 91.71%. We see that the enrollment has grown by 26 students and ADA has increased by 2.29%. Travis Elementary, current enrollment, 496 students, ADA 93.57. Prior year enrollment, 362, ADA of 89.86%. We see that the enrollment has increased by 134 students and ADA has increased by 3.71%. JFK Elementary, current year enrollment 420, ADA 94.29%. Prior year enrollment 442 with an ADA of 91.71. Enrollment did decrease by 22 students, however, ADA did increase by 2.58%. Hinojosa Elementary, enrollment current year 486 students, ADA 93.86. Enrollment prior year 466 students, ADA 91.43. Increase of enrollment of 20 students, increase of ADA by 2.43%. Moving on to the middle schools, Sergeant Harrell, enrollment current year of 387, ADA 93.29. Enrollment prior year 456 students, ADA 92.43%. We do see an enrollment decrease of 69 students and an ADA increase of 80.86%. Sergeant Chacon Middle School, current enrollment 581 students, ADA 93.29. Prior year enrollment 560 students, ADA 92.57, enrollment increase of 21 students, ADA increase of 0.71%. MA, or the Mercedes Academic Academy, current enrollment 146 students, ADA 84.71, prior year enrollment 88 students, 92% ADA. We see an enrollment increase of 58 students and an ADA decrease of 7.29%. Mercedes Early College Academy, current enrollment 351, ADA 96.14, prior year enrollment 355, ADA of 96.14. We do see an enrollment increase of 4 students, and we stay the same on ADA. Mercedes High School, we do see an enrollment current year of 900, an ADA of 91.14, prior year enrollment 971 with an ADA of 92.43. We do have an enrollment decrease of 71 students and an ADA decrease of 1.29%. I would like to note that we did have 64 students that transferred from high school to MA, which shows a discrepancy of 71 as well as the increase at MA of a similar number of students. Last but not least, JJAP, we have an enrollment of 0 current year. Prior year, we had an enrollment of 3 students with an ADA of 87.14. So we have an enrollment decrease of -3 students, although that's a positive thing in this case. Our administrators, teachers, and staff are committed to ensuring the students come to school ready to learn every day. It's our goal to continue this positive trend that we've seen this first 7 weeks. Any questions?
Thank you, Mr. Handy. Mr. Chavez, real quick, just a side note. I was just about some numbers. I was doing some homework at the house, so just for the record, that we're discussing our funding. And by the way, thank you, Ms. Chavez, and your staff for all the hard work. I mean, that speaks volumes of the hard work that you and your team are doing, because 100 and plus is fantastic. Now, ma'am, if I can ask you this question real quick. On the allotment per student, it's roughly about 6,000 and some change, right? Okay, so we do a little bit of math, because I know that 138 is just a ballpark figure, but I mean, that's more than $500,000, man.
Correct. We're going to see an increase.
An increase of almost more than $500,000. Ma'am, so when will we actually see that particular funding and, well, I guess the fruit of the labor? In May or June or July?
I think we're going to be looking at a presentation by the CFO,
Okay.
and we're going to be looking at the timeline. And of course, this is not inclusive of just this particular funding source, but
Right.
we're looking at increases in CT enrollment, program development, and then as we continue working with the staff and our principals in their leadership role at bringing attendance and the importance of having students in school, then we hope to be able to also capitalize on ADA improvements.
Fair enough. Anyone have any comments?
Thank you, Mr. Handy, for your presentation, and I'd also like to take this time to thank the entire team that is making this possible of increasing our ADA, where we see those positive percentages. I'd like to thank our truancy officers, our attendance clerks, our parental liaisons. It takes a team to make this happen. So thank you, and continue to work hard, and let's continue to increase those enrollment numbers.
Before we conclude with the superintendent's report and move on to the action agenda, I thank you, Ms. Vallejo, for mentioning those items, and I agree with you. I want to go back to the special recognition of our principals. And, you know, it's only 1 month that we recognize the principals, but, you know, it's something that I think we need to recognize all the time, because many of you are in new positions this year, new campuses, or new to the position. So I think we mentioned that at the start of the school year, we want to wish you the best. We hope that that we're supporting you in the way that we ought to. We want to make sure that you're successful, because your success is student success. there's a direct correlation. We had student recognition, some of the high school students and so forth. So that was great. Those students are successful. Much of that is because of your efforts. So please remain strong. Remember, it's a marathon, not a sprint, and we're just starting. We got a few weeks into it. We made some adjustments, I'm sure, already, and we're learning the whole time. But thank you for everything that you do. And it's just not this 1 month. It's all the time. Thank you, principals.
Thank you.
And I also would like to add, and thank you, Mr. Rodriguez, for bringing, for those words. I agree totally, completely with Mr. Rodriguez. Some of you being in a new position, in a new campus, this video here was amazing. Just those kids, that says a lot. That says a lot about what you're doing out there. And, the words that I would hear, inspire, helpful, your leadership, your kindness. I know it's not like that every day, but thank you so much for what you do. And we are here to help you, okay? Because we want the success. We want student success. We want our teachers, principals, we want our district to be successful. So thank you so much for everything.
Yes. I'd like to thank the principals as well. Being the forefront of the campus, I know it's a lot. Staff, students, you have a lot on as far as to your day-to-day responsibilities. I also want to thank you for out there when we go out on Tuesdays to the colonias. I want to thank all of you. I've seen the majority of you out there. And thank you for the support. It takes, like I said previously, it takes team effort and continuing to work together between the school district and the community that will equal student success. So thank you very much for all that you do.
Any more comment? Any more discussion? Okay. Thank you, Mr. Handy, and thank you, Ms. Chavez. Moving along on the agenda, action agenda A, Business Office, A1, report and possible discussion on the annual tax collection report September 1st, 2022 through August 31st, 2023 by Pablo Paul Villarreal Jr., tax assessor and collector. Ms. Chavez?
Ms. Garcia, if you can go ahead and introduce. Thank you.
Good evening. Mr. Paul Villarreal couldn't attend this morning. He had another commitment, but we have Mr. Julio Espinosa from the Hidalgo County Tax Office to make the presentation.
Thank you.
Welcome, sir.
Welcome.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Julio Espinosa from the Tax Office. Here to present the annual report for the Mercedes Independent School District. Fiscal year September 1st, 2022 through August 31st, 2023. This summary right here will have the totals that we're looking at. Base collections for this period, total collections for base were $9,055,000, $390.44. Penalties and interest collected $252,888.87, and collection fees were $90,028.84. Total collections for the period were $9,398,308.15. If we look a little closer on this other chart right here, that shows the comparisons for current year from last year to this year. The levy for prior year was 8.9 million. This year's levy was 9.1 million, an increase of 265 in total levy to collect. Collections last year were 8.5 million, and this year we're at 8.6 million, increase of 184,000 total collections. And when we look at the percentages, last year's percentage was 95.36. This year was 94.62, a very, very small reduction, still within the mid 90s as far as a collection of percentages is concerned. The following page shows the 5-year graph. We're looking at the 5-year history here. Back in 2018 tax roll, 94.1%. The 2019 tax roll, 94.93, and so forth is 94.61, 95.36, 94.62. Very, very consistent in the overall collections for the current year. If we skip over a few pages to the other 5-year comparison for the delinquency, I know that maybe the delinquent attorneys also present, but I'll just go real quick with the percentages here for these last 5 years. 19.54%, 25.54%, 24.33%, 23.68%, 21.64%, as well also in the mid-20s, which is the average. Overall collections, very, very positive, very proud of the residents, in the area here in Mercedes, in making paying their contributions, for property taxes here. I don't know if anyone has any questions regarding the report.
Anybody have questions? Any comments? Okay, if we don't have any more. Thank you so much for coming and visit us.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
Be safe. A2, discussion possible action to award the Hurricane Fence Company by board vendor, pound 657-21 fencing at Travis, Taylor, Hinojosa, Kennedy Elementary, Harold Middle School, Mercedes Early College Academy, and Mercedes Academic Academy. Ms. Travis, please.
The administration recommends your approval as presented by our facilities director.
Okay, colleagues, we have a recommendation from admin. May I entertain? Well, you want to go ahead? Well, you want to go ahead and give us just a 2-minute little recap on the fencing?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Well, good evening. This is a request for approval for the estimate for hurricane fencing. It is a phase 1 fencing initiative that we have. Previously, we did have an RFP that did not move forward because there was only one vendor that submitted an estimate. So therefore, the district wanted to take action and provide priority phase 1 fencing for the campuses listed on the agenda. This will ensure that parents and visitors are channeled straight into the front door so that they have a direct and we don't have any visitors or any person going around the campus. So we're doing our best to try and strategize and make sure that nobody goes around the building and so forth. So these are the buildings that we currently have. Phase 2 will include the rest of the campuses.
So this phase 1, Mr. Herrera, these are for these campuses, and this is what you had previously discussed about enclosing what was pending of the campuses. So these, after this phase 1, they will be 100% secure, enclosed.
Well, it meets the mandates of the rest of the fence because of the first RFP did have perimeter fencing, which would replace what's existing. So this is fencing that will ensure that visitors and parents have a direct path to the front door. The rest of the building fence does meet the mandate, and therefore, this is phase 1. We're looking, the safety team did a walkthrough. This was the best recommendation that we have at the time, and we're continuing to improve. That's why we're calling it phase 1, because we still have work to do, but we wanted to take action as soon as possible.
Okay, so this is not going to address what you had previously brought to the board as far as to you were going campus per campus and saying, okay, this certain feed is pending on this campus, so that's not going to?
Yes,
Okay,
it
so
is.
we are going to cover?
Yes, we're going to cover.
Okay, thank you.
Any questions? Any more questions? All right, thank you, Mr. So I have we have a recommendation from admin. May I entertain a motion?
So moved.
So moved from Ms. Delgado. Second, please.
Second.
Second from Ms. Vallejo. Any more discussion, colleagues? Okay, so we have a motion from Ms. Delgado, second by Ms. Vallejo. All in favor by saying aye?
Aye.
Anyone opposed by saying nay? Okay, motion passes unanimously. Thank you very much, Mr.
Thank you,
Ms.
Mr.
Chavez. Let's move on to B, Curriculum and Instruction. B1, Report on 2022-2023 Bilingual ESL Program Evaluation.
Making this
Ms. Chavez.
presentation is Ms. Gracia, Director of Elementary Education.
Hello, Ms. Gracia.
Good evening, Ms. Chavez, Board President and members, MISD staff and community. So this year I am bringing to you the program evaluation. This is a requirement of our Texas Education Code, Chapter 29. In this report, I do have to present to you how our EBs progressed academically, how they progressed in their English proficiency, how many of our students actually exited the program, what we did to train our teachers to better support our students. November 1st, an exception and a waiver. How many of those teachers actually got certified, and then the plan that we submitted to the state to help our teachers become certified and support them. Go ahead. So this is just our counts by campus at our different campuses for last year. Our total students that we served last year was 1,398. This is 31% of our total population of students here in Mercedes. Okay. This is how our students did on STAR. We compared where we were in 2022 to 2023. I'm not going to go through each one, but we did have some growth. We do know that we need to work at the master's level in all subject areas. Now, on this slide, in the past, usually what I present to you is the English language proficiency status rating, but because of the delay in TEA, we still haven't gotten those exact scores. So what I shared with you tonight is how many of our students per campus got to either the advanced or the advanced high rating, because both of these levels, by the time our students reach these levels, they are considered to be at grade level. Our advanced students do need a little bit more support than our advanced high students, but advanced high students are considered to be at the same English proficiency level as a native English speaker. So that's what I shared with you in that slide. And there was a typo, I apologize, on the that number after there, my mistake. Okay, the next slide. This shows you what the state has as our exit criteria. Like I said, this is a state criteria that our students have to meet to be reclassified at the end of the year. And basically what it is our students, when they take their TELPAS exam, they have to be at an advanced high level in each domain. So listening, speaking, reading, and writing, they have to score advanced high. They also have to score from grades 3 through 12. They either pass their STAR reading or their English, 1 or 2 exams, the end of course. For our first and second graders, they can also take a what's known as the Iowa test. It's a norm reference test. And then, of course, the teacher also has to recommend that the students no longer need the support of a bilingual or ESL program. So this was the criteria that we used. And then on the next page, you have how many of our students actually were reclassified at the end of the school year. And I didn't leave the 2022 scores, but we did see increases in both the elementary and the secondary level. We were at a total of 14 students that were reclassified last year, and in 2022, pardon me. And then in 2023, we had 23 students. This next slide, Title III also has a requirement that we do train our parents. We do have specific requirements. We have to train them in literacy. We have to train them with the program models that we follow. And we did meet all the requirements for that this year. One of the new things that we brought in, or that we brought back, was the library. A lot of the parents, we do this towards the end of the year so that our students know what is out there at the public library for the summer, like for enrichment for them to attend. The next slide is the staff training that we provided. This is just in general for instructional purposes. We usually, a lot of this is required, but we do also get input from the campuses and district-wide based on the needs. We do bring in, for example, there was the Estrellita Spanish literacy training for our lower level grades. Summit K-12, Region 1, that time to engage, that was a focus on writing and speaking, because those are still some of the domains that our students struggle with in TELPAS. Next one, the impact, of course, what we're striving to do is to bring continued awareness of how to differentiate instruction for our bilingual students based on their student language proficiency levels. And then, of course, improved implementation of sheltered instruction to make content comprehensible to our students and to build that academic vocabulary that our students need. These are the 2 programs that we have. As you know, in 2018, the law did change on some of our requirements for certification. At the elementary level, our students have to be served in all their content, in all their grades, whether they team or whether they are standalone teachers, by a bilingual certified teacher. At the secondary level, 6th through 12th grade, the ELAR teacher must also now be ESL certified. And then also from pre-K all the way to 12th grade, our life skills teachers also have to have a special ed, along with their special ed certification, also have to have either a bilingual or ESL certification. So like I said, for the 2023 school year, we did have to file an exception and a waiver by November 1st of last year. When we do this, we do have to have a plan of how we're going to train the teachers. We do have to set aside 10% of our state bilingual funds. And then, of course, we have to make sure that as a district, we're taking actions to increase the number of certified teachers. So on the next page, you actually see, this was, of course, for last year. Last year, at the elementary level, we had 1 early literacy program teacher, 1 Hinojosa teacher, 5 JFK teachers that were put on this exception. At the secondary level, we had 3 Herald teachers, and then 3 high school teachers, okay? And then this is the plan that we set to help our teachers or support our teachers in getting certified. We continued working with Region 1. Excellence in Teaching is a program out of Weslaco that we work with. And then Dr. Edith Trevino, last year we did bring in Texas A&M through College Station. This is an online course that the teachers also, not only do they get trained on it, but they earn course credit for that through A&M. And we did have 1 teacher become ESL certified at the high school level. And she was actually one of our, I think it was a life skills teacher. And so here, basically, we do talk to our principals about intentionally placing our bilingual ESL students with certified teachers. This year at the elementary level, the majority of our teachers are, or I should say, of our students are with a certified teacher. We do have some life skills classrooms where we, will need to work with those teachers. We continue to provide this training for them. We do encourage the teachers to take the state certification exams. The bilingual test is more challenging for our teachers if they're not native Spanish speakers. So those are the group of teachers that we have a harder time getting them to be successful in that exam. And then we also reimburse their test fee whenever they do pass the test. And that is it. Any questions?
Any comments, any questions? Colleague?
I just have a question, Ms.
Uh-huh.
Gracia. You went over on the bilingual exception and the ESL waivers, and you broke it down as far as to elementary, secondary, and the individuals that you submitted waivers for. You mentioned 1 out of those teachers has been certified since?
The counts from last year, yes. From the
Okay.
23 group, yes, you are
And how
correct.
many teachers do we have in the program working on certification?
As of last year, we had a total of 13. And of those, 1 became certified.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Good.
Good.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms.
Thank
Travis.
you.
Thank you very
Thank
much,
you.
Mr. Travis. There's no action on the item, correct, Ms. Travis? Ms. Travis? There is no action on it?
We need to approve.
We need to approve? Okay,
Yes.
so we have a recommendation from admin. So moved. Have a motion from Mr.
Second.
Rodriguez. Second, please.
Second.
Second from Ms. Vallejo. Okay, any more discussion, colleagues? Okay, so we have a motion from Mr. Rodriguez, second by Ms. Vallejo. All in favor, saying aye?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion passes unanimously. C, governance. Mr. Solani, can I go C1 and 2, or they are individual?
Yes, sir, as long as it's on the record, sir.
Okay, so colleagues, it's okay, we could just go ahead and take care of 1 and 2? Okay. C, governance, C1, report, board president announcement on board continuing education hours. C2, discussion and possible action to approve the resolution nominating a candidate or a candidates for Hidalgo County Appraisal District Board of Directors 2024-2025. So, go ahead and bring up the report. Okay, Mercedes Independent School District Board of Trustees Continuing Education Credit Credit Announcement 2022-2023 Report. Board President, United States, State Board of Education rule completing the required continuing education each year of the service is a basic obligation, expectation of any sitting board members. As Board President, I'm required to announce the name of each member who have completed, exceeded, or is deficient in the meeting and the required training. For the record, let it be noted that the following first-year board members have completed the local district orientation training. Number one, Mr. Orlando Rodriguez. Number two, Mr. Marcos J. Garcia IV. And three, Mrs. Nancy E. Vallejo. The following first-year board members have completed the orientation to the Texas Education Code training. Number one, Mr. Orlando Rodriguez. Number two, Mr. Marcos J. Garcia IV. Three, Mrs. Nancy E. Vallejo. The following board members have completed the post-legislative update to the Texas Education Code. One, Mr. Oscar Hernandez. Two, Mr. Pete Martinez III. Number three, Mrs. Lucy Delgado. Number four, Mr. Eddie Howe Jr. The following new board members have time remaining to complete the post-legislative update to the Texas Education Code. One, Mr. Orlando Rodriguez. Two, Mr. Marcos J. Garcia IV. Three, Mrs. Nancy E. Vallejo. The following board members have completed the annual team building training. All of us. The following board members have completed the additional continuing education requirements, 10 hours for the first year members, 5 hours for subsequent years. Number one, Mr. Orlando Rodriguez. Two, Mr. Marcos J. Garcia IV. Number three, Mr. Oscar Hernandez. Number four, Mrs. Nancy E. Vallejo. Number five, Mr. Pete Martinez III. Six, Mrs. Lucy Delgado. Number seven, Mr. Eddie Howe Jr. The following board members have completed the biennial training on evaluating student academic performance and setting goals. All of us, 1 through 7. The following board members have completed the biennial training on school safety. All 7 of us. Let me go ahead and look at the next attachment, colleagues, really quick. Board members, Orlando Rodriguez has met the requirements. Mr. Marcos J. Garcia IV has met the requirements. Place 3, Oscar Hernandez has met the requirements. Place 4, Nancy E. Vallejo has met the requirements. Place 5, Lucy Delgado has met the requirements. Place 6, Pete Martinez has met the requirements. And place 7, Eddie Howe Jr. has met the requirements. Okay, that's, this one, Mr. Lane, no action, correct? On C1, right?
No action, sir.
Okay, so let's move on to C2. Let's go on to the next attachment, colleagues. Okay, so this is our part, and I'm requesting the board to make we need to vote on a resolution to select or nominate a candidate or candidates for the Hidalgo County Appraisal District Board of Directors. If you'd like to make a nomination, if you don't want to participate, and the table's all yours. So I don't know if we have anybody in mind. I mean,
Mr. President, I do have an individual that is willing, and Dr. Ruben Saldana, one of our current city commissioners, member of the community.
okay, so any other nominations on it? Mr. Saldana, sorry, I apologize, sir, but do we have to have a nomination, an action on that, or I mean, a vote on the nomination?
Yes.
Okay, so is there any more nominations?
I don't.
No?
Yeah.
Okay, I need a motion to cease nominations. So I need a motion to cease nominations.
So moved.
Okay, and a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Delgado. Okay, so we have a motion, Mr. Rodriguez and Ms. Delgado, to cease the nominations. All in favor of saying aye?
Aye.
Anyone opposed with saying nay? Okay, that pretty much concludes the nomination. Okay, so now we have Dr. Ruben Saldana. And I need a motion to nominate Mr. Dr. Ruben Saldana to join us at the Hidalgo County Appraisal Board. Okay, we have a motion from Mr. Rodriguez. I'll second it.
Second.
Any more discussion, colleagues? Okay, so we have a motion from Mr. Rodriguez, second by Mr. Hernandez. All in favor saying aye?
Aye.
Anyone opposed with saying nay? Okay, motion passes. I guess somebody can tell Dr. Saldana the good news again. Thank you, Board. Let's move on to D, Facilities. D1, discussion possible action to approve the high school chiller and cooling tower replacement project expense pay application number 6-Train US Incorporated. Ms. Chavez, please.
The administration will ask Mr. Herrera to please come up.
Good evening. Train USA is requesting payment, application 6, in the amount of $154,850 for the work conducted as of August 10th.
Any colleagues, any questions, any comments? Okay, so if there's no more discussion. Thank you, Mr. Schroeder, by the way. I need a motion to approve the recommendation from admin. Colleagues?
So moved.
Okay, we have a motion from Ms. Delgado. I need a second, colleague.
Second.
Second by Mr. Rodriguez. Mr. Herrera, I have a quick question on it. Just longevity on these particular chillers. I know that you and I, we can go back and says, man, they only lasted about 10 years, right? The one over at Chacuan, right? Yeah, so
Well, no,
some of the chillers, right?
The Chacuan, we had a full replacement. It's been
about 10, 15 years?
5-6 years, but that's a brand new chiller. We have
Oh,
one.
okay.
The practice is to have two chillers. One,
True.
so they work. One turns off and one turns off. When we have one chiller only, it puts us in a really tough position in case we have some issue with the chiller. If that breaks down, it causes some cooling issues at the campus. So we did have one previously. That was before my tenure. But the one that we work now, it is in good working condition. We do the maintenance, we do the servicing, and we just make sure that we can have it running efficiently as much as possible to avoid any issues.
I like the redundancy. Thank you, Mr. Herrera. Any more?
And what's the life expectancy on these new chillers that are being installed, Mr. Herrera?
The ones that we have been running for over 20 years, like the ones at the high school. They do require, now these are sophisticated machines with pumps and towers, but their longevity is just a matter of the water treatment that it receives, because theirs has to be water treatment. For us, it's Nelco, the water treatment that goes through the lines and so forth. So proper maintenance and in order for it to keep it operating is very important. And that's why we try and do our best to maintain the warranties and the service agreements with the vendors to keep it up as much as possible. So for sure, plus 20 years. And I have good news. As of last Tuesday, which was October 10th, we did receive the chiller. So we're hoping that within 3 to 4 weeks, we have it in full operation. Because the chiller at the high school, we only have one. It does cool from 70–80% of the main high school building. So it's very important that we get it installed as soon as possible. So we're hopefully a month away from a full installation of the new chiller.
Fair enough.
Thank you.
So very important to keep up with the maintenance agreements and inspections.
Yes, ma'am.
All the preventative
All the
care.
preventative.
Of course.
Okay. Do we have, you mentioned earlier that we're servicing or maintaining the chillers. Is it your staff or are you, or
In order
do you
for,
have a vendor?
like the ones at the high school, and I'll make you an example of the new gym, the
Mm-hmm.
field house, even at Chaco, and they're Daikin chillers. And so we contract that preventative maintenance to Daikin, so we can have a service agreement. And so if we have any issues, we're the first in lines for them to respond. We were working with warranties, however, after the 5 years, you get a service agreement for repairs. And through that, you get some parts and some labor included in those fees. And so we do keep them up. So when you do see it across your table, that's what we're trying to do. Make sure that we're up and going with our service agreements with the AC companies.
Mr. You coordinate the installation and the work with the contractors, in this case, Train, to integrate with the system that we currently have in place for the energy efficiency and so forth. That's throughout the district, but
Yes.
but at that high school. So there's some integration. There's got to be some discussion, right, on.
Correct.
Yeah.
We do have an engineer, which is DBR. They do oversee the project, so we do constant walkthroughs during the installation and the work, and DBR does do the visits. So before you get any payment application, they've already certified the work that's in place. And so we do have an engineering company that oversees and makes sure that everything's going to continue working as it is with the automated logic.
Okay, any more questions, any more comments? Okay, thank you, Mr.
Thank you, Mr. Herrera.
Thank you, sir.
We have a motion from Ms. Delgado, second by Mr. Rodriguez. All in favor by saying aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed by saying nay? Okay, motion passed unanimously. Let's move on to D2, discussing possible action to approve the construction project expenses. 2A, Real Roofing Incorporated, pay application number 8 for the roofing replacement at Mercedes Early College Academy. Ms. Chavez.
The administration recommends is presented by Mr. Herrera, and he'll be here to answer any questions that you may have.
Any
Real
questions?
Roofing is
No, go ahead, Mr. Herrera, go
okay.
ahead.
Real Roofing is submitted application number 8 in the amount of $83,752 for the work conducted as of August 31st, which includes the installation of the skylight.
I don't have
That is
questions on it.
completed, with the skylight? Okay.
It is completely, fully installed. All we're waiting is for some trimming that goes under the skylight.
Okay.
But the skylight is installed at the Mercedes Early College. We've seen a difference in temperatures just because, and of course with clarity, and the sunlight going through the area where the skylight is installed, which is the main office and the library. So that's fully installed.
I don't know if it's a fair question, but I apologize about it, but I was going to say with the rain that we had, any issues that we had, or?
None were reported, Mr. Hernandez.
I'm sorry?
None were reported.
Nice, okay.
So now that the skylight has been installed, Mr. Herrera, you said we're just pending trim work? Because I see
Yes.
the remaining balance of 150?
And the retainage for the walkthrough.
Okay, so other than that, it will be complete after the trim work?
Yes, we just have one more payment application for Mecca, and then it'll be just a retainage.
Okay. Thank you.
Date of completion, do we have a ETA? No? Any?
Basically, the construction itself was completed several months ago. The skylight and 3 ladders, roof access ladders, took a long time to be delivered. That's why we're still trading on this. But it's minimal, but there are just minor details to be completed. It's 99.5% complete.
Okay. I'm sure we'll take a look when we go out there. Thank you.
Thank you for everything, sir.
That's a good question, Mrs. Delgado.
Mhm.
Any more questions? Any more comments? Okay, thank you very much on it. So we have a motion from Ms. Delgado, and I'm sorry, I apologize. We need a motion.
We need a motion.
So moved.
So we have a motion from Ms. Delgado, right, and Ms. Vallejo? Okay, so we have a motion from Ms. Delgado, second by Ms. Vallejo. All in favor saying aye?
Aye.
Anyone opposed by saying nay? Okay, motion passed unanimous. 2B, Rio Roofing Incorporated, pay application number 9 for the roofing replacement at Mercedes Early College Academy. Ms. Chavez.
The administration is recommending pay application number 9 as presented by Mr. Herrera.
Real Roofing is submitting application number 9 in the amount of $23,351 for the roof ladders that were installed that we just spoke about. And this is the ladders and the roof and the work conducted as of September 30th.
Okay, so any questions, any comments, colleagues, before we make a motion? I know we had a discussion about some, if I recall, the gutters. We addressed that issue already, colleagues? Something with the gutter, I don't know.
Over at check one?
Was
There
it
was a check one.
Was it a check one?
Check on.
Oh, okay, never mind. It's a different item.
And these, you said ladders?
Ladders.
Okay, how
yeah.
many are we
I
talking?
think there was 3.
Yes. Actually, it was one ladder, but, and there were 2 existing ladders to go in the area at the front of the building. The contractor was, construction documents required the contractor to install 1 large ladder, but during construction, out of their own cost, the contractor decided to replace the 2 existing ladders, so it's a total of 3 ladders. 2 of them at contractor's cost.
And the ladders that we're talking about are the ones that take you from one roof to the other.
Okay.
Those are the ladders that we're
To
talking
get you
about.
over, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
makes sense.
Okay, so we have a recommendation from admin. May I entertain a motion, colleagues? If there's more questions, any more comments?
So moved.
Okay, now, motion from Ms. Vallejo. Second, please. Can I get a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Delgado. Okay, we have a motion from Ms. Vallejo, a second by Ms. Delgado. All in favor saying aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, anyone opposed by saying nay? Okay, motion passes. Thank you very much, gentlemen. Appreciate it. Thank you, Ms. Chavez. D3, discussion of possible action on the change orders for construction projects. 3A, Rio Roofing Incorporated, Mercedes High School, change order number 3.
Mr. Herrera.
No problems, Mr. Vidal.
Real Roofing submitted change order number 3 in the amount of $11,420. This will return and be credited to the overall amount at the high school. Just to recap, during the contract, there was allowances in place for deck replacement and the betterment. So at this point, Real Roofing is reimbursing at Mecca an amount of $11,420. So that'll be credited to the contract.
The contract amount will be reduced,
Say that again? The contract amount?
will be reduced.
Reduced, okay.
That deduct change orders are, when you have construction on an existing building, you always run into surprises when workers start demolishing the roof. And that is meant to take care of any emergency fix that has to be made, unseen condition.
Okay.
They were not used, so the 3 change orders are reducing the total contract amount of it.
That's a good news.
That's good. Thank
It's a good news for us, right?
That is good. That is good. Thank you.
Okay, any more questions? Colleagues? Okay, we have a recommendation from admin. We have a motion.
So moved.
Motion from Mr. Rodriguez. Second, please.
Second.
Second from Ms. Delgado. Okay, so we have a motion from Mr. Rodriguez, second by Ms. Delgado. All in favor saying aye?
Aye.
Anyone opposed saying nay? Okay, motion passes. 3B, Rio Roofing Incorporated, Sergeant Chacon Middle School Gym, change order number 1. Ms. Chavez.
Mr. Herrera.
Real Roofing is submitting change order number 1 at Sergeant Chacon Middle School. This change order will return an entire amount of $2,250 of unused allowance to the district. The amount is $2,250, so it's money that'll be returned to the and then credited into the contract.
Any questions, any comments, colleagues?
No, thank you.
Okay, so I need a motion. We have a recommendation from admin.
So moved.
Okay, we have a motion from Ms. Delgado, second by Mr. Rodriguez. Okay, so this is 3B.
Oscar, that was.
Ms. Vallejo? Motion
Oh,
by
I'm
Ms. Vallejo.
sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, Ms. Vallejo. There we go. Let me correct that one. Okay, so we have a motion from Ms. Vallejo, a second by Mr. Rodriguez. All in favor, saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed will say nay. Okay, motion passes. 3C, Real Roof Incorporated Mercedes Early College Academy Change Order Number 4. Ms. Chavez.
Mr. Herrera.
Real Roofing is submitting change order number 4, Academy. These two amounts were from the deck replacement allowance and from the betterment allowance, which is a total of $58,165 that the contract will be credited.
Good news, kids. So,
Great news.
any questions, any comments, colleagues, on 3C? Okay, I need a motion. We have a recommendation from admin. Okay, we have a motion from Ms. Vallejo.
Second.
Second by Mr. Rodriguez. Okay, on 3C. We have a motion from Ms. Vallejo, a second by Mr. Rodriguez. All in favor saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed will say nay. Motion passes. Gentlemen, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you very much for the good news.
Good news on that one. Okay, consent agenda. I will start from my far right. Ms. Vallejo, would you like to pull anything for the consent agenda?
No.
Ms. Delgado?
No, sir. No, I'm good. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Rodriguez?
Yes, sir. Items A1,
A1, okay.
D3,
D3,
D4,
D4,
and F1.
F1. Okay, that's Mr. Rodriguez. Okay, I will pull D5. Okay, I need a motion to accept the, I'm sorry.
Just so that the record is clear, item D5 is being pulled for consideration and is being pulled from the agenda and will not be voted on tonight.
Okay, so I just flat out say it right up front.
Right, that's being pulled for further consideration by the city.
Okay, so D5, by the way, colleagues, is going to be pulled for legal review on the city part, on the city's side of the agreement.
That's
Okay?
correct.
So that's on the record. Okay, so. Okay, so colleagues, I need a motion to accept the consent agenda, its total entirety except A1, D3, D4, and F1. I need a motion to accept the consent agenda.
So moved.
Okay, we have a motion from Ms. Vallejo.
Yeah.
I have a second, please.
A second.
Second by Ms. Delgado. Is there any more discussion, colleagues, on these items? Okay, if not, we have a motion from Ms. Vallejo, second by Ms. Delgado. All in favor saying aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed will say nay. Okay, motion passes. Let's go to A1, curriculum and instruction. Discussion, possible action to approve the memorandum of understanding between McMurray University Institution of Higher Education dual enrollment and Mercedes ISD.
I've asked the directors, Ms. De La Fuente, Director for Secondary Education, and Ms. Venecia, Director for Student Services and CCMR.
Good evening, Mr. Hernandez,
Hello,
Board
lady.
President, Ms. Chavez, Superintendent, Board of Trustees, Community, and staff.
Good evening, everyone.
Okay, the question I had is, we currently have MOUs for our dual enrollment kids with STC, TSTC. What will McMurray provide our students that's different from what than we can get STC and TSTC?
So first of all, McMurray University is an initiative by Juan Garza. He's not here tonight, unfortunately, so I'll do my best to answer that question. In the goal of providing college for all, college opportunities for all, what McMurray University does is it allows students who cannot pass that TSI test to start with the math, the reading, or reading, writing-based course. And these courses will transfer.
Thank you.
Sorry. Will transfer out.
Thank you.
The fee is $200 flat for a 3-hour. The textbooks are included. For a 4-hour course, the science courses, it's a $300 flat fee. All textbooks are included. There is a tracking and progress log, so there is a coach on the other end making sure that our students are staying on track. And what's really exciting is the site manager for Mercedes ISD can monitor the students in real time every single day.
And I'm glad to hear those things. I want to commend Mr. Garza and the rest of the staff and yourselves, the superintendent, for reaching out and looking for additional opportunities for our students. The TSI, as I know you know, can be a gatekeeper. And so this allows students that struggle with the TSI to achieve those dual credits and, you know, move on to the things they want to do. So kudos to the staff.
One other thing that I wanted to say, Mr. Rodriguez, is that the courses are aligned, so there's a crosswalk already.
Great job.
Thank you.
Good job, ladies.
Thank you, ladies.
Good job.
If it's okay, we need a motion to accept A1, please. Mr. Rodriguez?
I just wanted to thank
Go ahead.
Ms. Chavez and the staff, Career and Technology, for bringing more opportunities for our students. This memorandum of understanding with McMurray, it's an excellent opportunity for our students to help them excel in those post-secondary studies. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any more questions? Any more comments, colleagues?
Okay.
I need a second on this one, please.
Second?
Second by Mr. Delgado. Okay. This is A1. We have a motion from Mr. Rodriguez, a second by Mr. Delgado. All in favor saying aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed by saying nay? Okay, motion passed. Let's go to D3. Discussion possible action to approve the 2023-2024 Student Code of Conduct Handbook. Ms. Chavez.
I have asked our Director of Safe Schools and our coordinator, Mr. Canales, to be available to discuss this item.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes,
The question I had, Mr. President, is what were the major changes to the Student Code of Conduct for this year as opposed to last year?
Okay, of course, begin with good evening, Board President Hernandez, Superintendent Ms. Chavez, Board of Trustees, and of course our community. There were 4 major changes from last year's Code of Conduct. The first 2 discuss the possession of prohibited items, and also for the purposes of DEP, elementary classification shall be kindergarten through grade 5, and secondary classification shall be grade 6 through 12. Those 2 changes came from TASB, okay, and those were updated, and of course we have to in turn plug those into our Student Code of Conduct. And the last 2, there were 2, the one from page 39, just an addition by the principals that included a change to some of the shoe wear, specifically to Crocs that I know our kids like to wear. Just a line item there that says that they should not be used for physical education, because those, we tend to have a good number of accidents, especially at our elementary level, with some of our kiddos trying to run in those Crocs. And even though they have the flap on the back, they tend to have a lot of grip on the floor, and they in turn have accidents. And the last item is just in addition to the, and that one's on page 44, addition to certain clothing that's worn that adds any content that is a clear disruption to the learning environment to the clothing. And those were the 4 major changes from last year's Code of Conduct to this year's.
And all principals had an opportunity to provide input?
My understanding, yes.
Okay, all right, good. Thank you, sir.
Of course.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chacon.
Okay, this is D3. I need a motion, please.
So moved.
Okay, I have a motion for Mr. Rodriguez. Second, please.
Second.
Second by Ms. Vallejo. Okay, so we have a motion for Mr. Rodriguez, second by Ms. Vallejo. All in favor saying aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed by saying nay? Okay, motion passes. Let's go to D4, colleagues. It's discussion possible action to approve the donation to Mercedes ISD.
For the donations, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I do want to recognize those individuals that have made donations to our district. Once again, these individuals feel that our district, that Mercedes ISD, is worthy enough for the donations that they, for different programs. I'd like to begin with a $2,000 donation to the Mercedes FFA, okay? This was by Western Leather Goods, Rios of Mercedes, essentially. So that's local dollars and local donation. So thank you so much for that donation. Also, in addition, we have from Jerry's Auto Sales, a $500 donation for banners, scholarships, and sponsorship for shirts and supplies to the Mercedes FFA Ag Mechanics. We know from the presentation that we had just how good they're doing, and so we want to thank them. They obviously feel that they would like to continue to support them. So thank you to those individuals.
Thank you, Mr. Rodriguez.
Thank you.
Any more comments, any questions on it, colleagues? Okay, so I need a motion to accept. Okay, so we have a motion from Mr. Rodriguez. Second, anybody?
Second.
Second by Mr. Bell. Okay, so we have a motion from Mr. Rodriguez, second by Mr. Bell. All in favor saying aye?
Aye.
Anyone opposed by saying nay? Okay, motion passes. F1. Discussion possible action to approve the DIR, Texas Education Agency Cybersecurity Program fully funded for 2023-2034 school year. F1. Ms. Rapp, on that one?
Mr. Handy?
And Mr. President, the reason for pulling this item is because cybersecurity is on everybody's lips these days. And I'd like to hear from Mr. Handy as to what this program will provide MISD.
Yes, sir. So this cyber security project managed endpoint detection and response, it's being provided by TEA. It is a fully funded initiative. Our district qualifies, so we are eligible. So what is managed EDR, or endpoint detection response? It's an autonomous solution. It sits on our computers and servers, and it detects and responds to malware, viruses, ransomware. What makes this particular project unique, apart from being free, is that it's managed. So we don't have to do a lot to really get the benefit from this project. It will be managed by AT&T, and so it's a real-time person or a team that manages any threat they see to our network, to our computers and servers, and then they notify us and we communicate on how to mitigate any issues we may have.
Okay. And I want to thank you, Mr. Handy, for finding these resources, especially the $0 part. That's great, but the protection that we get, I'm glad you were able to take advantage of this and that we qualify for this program.
Yes, sir. It is a 2-year program, so we should see benefits for two years.
Thank you, sir.
Very good. Thank you, Mr. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Any more questions, any more?
Do you know if, sorry, Mr. Handy, other school districts are also taking benefit of this?
Sure. The eligibility is, it has to be an LEA or another government organization under 15,000 students. Okay. So we qualified there, and they provide 20% of our population in licenses. So with us, we should receive about 900 licenses for 2 years. So it's from now till August 31, 2025.
Great. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Randy. So I need a motion, colleagues. So moved. Okay, so a motion by Mr. Rodriguez. Second, please.
Second.
Second by Mr. Mel. Okay, F1, we have a motion by Mr. Rodriguez. We have a second by Mr. Gal. All in favor saying aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed by saying nay? By saying nay? Okay, motion passed unanimous. Executive session A, personnel pursuant to section 551.074 of the Texas Government Code and attorney consultation pursuant to section 551.071 of the Texas Government Code. A1, resignation, termination, appointments, evaluation, reassignments, duties, and discipline of professional, paraprofessional, non-contract employees, teacher substitutes, substitute for maintenance, transportation, cafeteria department. A2, attorney consultation regarding legal issues on insurance consultant contract. B, discussion private consultation with attorney regarding pending or contemplated litigation, settlement matters, or matters where the professional duty under state board requires private consultation with the school attorney pursuant to 551.071 of the Texas Government Code. B1, discussion and consideration of lawsuit styled by Caroline Amenyola versus Mercedes Independent School District, civil action number 7:23-CV-0031. C, student discipline pursuant to section 551.0821 of the Texas Government Code. It is 7:45, and we are in executive session.